on the Barbara Walters Special.
I walk into a party not knowing who I'm going to meet, and there's this beautiful girl. She looks up at me with these big, beautiful, soulful eyes, and I was thunderstruck.
Whose name?
Is Lisa. And so Marie Presley.
You're wearing a wedding band.
Yeah.
But, pretty band.
Thank you.
But you are not married to him.
We're getting married this summer, actually. We decided to get married this summer.
Why, after 7 years, are you getting married?
He asked me.
Take me back 7 years ago. What were you doing?
I was auditioning for Jerry Maguire. That's what I was doing.
Waiting tables?
Yeah, well, not really. I was cleaning ashtrays.
Cleaning ashtrays?
Yeah, I was the bar back.
You weren't even good enough to be waiting tables. Good evening. These are difficult and unsettling times. In the first days of the war, I decided to postpone the special you're about to see, which was to have aired Academy Awards night. But perhaps in the midst of such stress, we need a little respite. So tonight we bring you three huge and delightful stars: Renee Zellweger, Julianne Moore, and Nicolas Cage. Each of them was nominated for Academy Awards, and although they didn't capture the Oscars, they did capture my heart, and I have a feeling they'll capture yours as well. Stay with us.
The Barbara Walters Special on ABC, brought to you by Ford. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Caught you looking, that's okay. Everybody looks at my Ford that way. Checking out that body, digging on those moves. Ford's traveling in a whole new groove. Yeah, you got that style to the mile. Can we go for a spin, baby? Have you looked at Ford lately? Have you looked at Ford lately? If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
HP technology and HP people help BMW Williams run every race before the driver ever gets in the car.
You know that little voice that whispers, "Did you take the pill today?" You don't have to hear it anymore because of this. Ortho Evra, the birth control patch. It's just as effective as the pill, but even simpler. Because one patch protects you for a whole week. It's incredibly thin and smooth. Put it here, here, or here, and it stays put. Just peel and stick. That's how simple Ortho Evra makes birth control.
The contraceptive patch contains hormones like those in birth control pills. Serious risks include blood clot, stroke, and heart attack. Cigarette smoking increases these risks, especially if you're over 35. Patch users are strongly advised not to smoke. Women with blood clots, certain cancers, a history of heart attack or stroke, and those that could be pregnant should not use the patch. The patch does not protect against HIV or sexually transmitted diseases. To learn more, talk to your healthcare professional.
So get birth control off your mind and that little voice out of your life.
Ortho Evra. On your body, off your mind.
So we have a cellist and two violinists. I don't say this just because I was a school teacher. It would be devastating for our young people if music was taken out of the classroom because it's something they can latch onto and find their identity in. When a kid learns how to take that and make it his own, it's amazing. It's really fun to see a child light up like that and to know that they're getting it.
Music lets kids shine. Help us keep it in our schools. Join Blue from American Express. Support Save the Music.
Dude, isn't that your mom?
Okay, so it's true.
What's true?
Drug money funds terrorism.
It is true.
Okay.
Okay?
Look, let's say I buy some dope.
Let's say.
Hypothetical.
Let's say.
Now, how much of my money actually makes it to the bad guy's hands?
A couple of bucks.
A few bucks.
A few bucks, that's it. Peanuts.
So what you're saying is it's okay to support terrorism a little.
Did I say that?
ABC Wednesday's almost here, and David is getting ready early on My Wife and Kids. Then, when this young girl's heart is broken, only a father can come to the rescue.
Carmen, you'll always have one friend.
Thanks, Dad.
Not me.
A new George Lopez. Then 25 women will meet the most eligible bachelor ever.
Andrew definitely has husband material.
And the fight for his heart will be fierce.
I want the ring on my finger.
The Bachelor, followed by All American Girl. It all starts ABC Wednesday, 8/7 Central.
Next Tuesday, the wait is over. Blue returns with a bang.
Come on!
Oh my God. All new episodes.
Be straight with me. You don't love me anymore.
This is the season legends are made of.
All she saw was us standing over the kid with guns in our hands. Don't do a thing till you hear from me.
All new Blue ABC next Tuesday, 10/9 Central. Viewer discretion advised.
Renee Zellweger always plays nice, regular girls who wouldn't harm a fly. We assume she is unassuming.
I'm sick of everybody telling me what to do, and you treat me like dirt.
Shuns the spotlight. Forsakes glamour.
I'm a star, and the audience loves me.
Maybe she's more complicated than we think. Renee Zellweger received an Oscar nomination for Best Actress in Chicago. But she has never danced before.
You can like the life you
Never sung before.
You can live the life you like.
And you'd never know. She's got spark and style and all that jazz. The moment is now for the little girl with a heart as big as Texas. Katy, Texas, to be exact. Her father was Swiss, her mother Norwegian, but her upbringing was all American. A small-town tomboy who loved sports and cheerleading, she never gave acting a second thought. But she worshipped her older brother, and when he took high school drama, so did she. By the time she was at the University of Texas at Austin, she was hooked. And she didn't run off to Hollywood right away either. Instead, she worked in local films, like this grisly sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, alongside her college drama pal, Matthew McConaughey. But eventually, every film actress has to pack up her Honda and head for L.A. But they don't all land the movie.
I will go with you.
Dorothy Boyd, thank you.
One day, you're searching for quarters at the laundromat. The next, you're auditioning with Tom Cruise.
Hello? Hello?
Jerry Maguire changed everything for Renee.
Shut up. Just shut up. You had me at hello.
After a few small movies, she found herself on set with a larger-than-life presence, Jim Carrey, and she fell for him and got her first taste of celeb-on-celeb dating. It didn't last long. Nice girl image aside, she does have guts.
Go, 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 go!
Against the wishes of much of Great Britain, she took on Bridget Jones's Diary and proved she can gain weight like De Niro.
You like me just the way I am.
And do accents like Streep.
Nothing.
A sequel is already in the works, but first...
My first New York phone call.
Everybody's going retro this year, and Down with Love takes on 60s romantic comedies. Renee plays a role perfect for Doris Day.
This is Barbara Novak.
This is Katja Block.
Renee has lived for the past few years here in this Hollywood home. The place is what you'd expect, cozy and charming. But she's in transition now, moving to the East Coast with the one constant in her life, a 14-year-old retriever collie mix named Dylan. She's experienced a great deal in her 33 years, but Chicago seems to have been a turning point. How did the role in Chicago change you as an actress?
It was a very different way of playing a character. It was completely fulfilling. And it's not just singing the notes, but it's expressing something with them. It's an unbelievable feeling to really, really express completely what you're feeling.
Let's go back to your childhood.
Okay.
So you grew up in a tiny Texas town called Katy. There wasn't even a movie theater in Katy, was there?
No, not at the time. There is now.
So you grew up with no movie theater, so you were not a movie buff. No. What was the first movie you ever saw?
As a family, at the theater, we'd only ever seen one film before I started to make them.
Really?
Yeah, we saw Close Encounters of the Third Kind. They weren't big, you know, cinema goers.
So you weren't one of these kids who said at the age of 6, I'm going to be an actress?
Oh, no. I wanted to be Nadia Comaneci when I was 6. I wanted to be Olga Corbett. I wanted to be
You're
Wilma
a gymnast.
and run around the track, you know? That's what I wanted to do.
Your parents are European immigrants. Your father is Swedish, mother Norwegian. Yes?
Mom's Norwegian, Dad's Swiss.
Okay. Did you feel different?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Because when I think back on, like, what's in here, I feel so very connected to that place, to Texas.
Yeah.
I feel it, you know. I know the smells, I know the climate, I love the sky. And at the same time, I'm sure that, well, my parents are children from the war.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally, my mother had Nazis in her house. Her town burnt, everything that she owned taken, her animals eaten. Just their knowledge of those sorts of hardships certainly played into what our family life was like. It was very simple because all they wanted was safety and quiet and enough. They just wanted to have enough. They didn't go to the football games, you know.
When you were an athlete.
Yeah, that's a big deal for the cheerleader to have her, you know, her parents come to the football games on Friday night, but they didn't understand the cultural importance behind that because they never experienced anything like that where they were from.
What did they teach you?
Where shall I start? Oh, I can change a tire and the CV boot. If something goes wrong with the belt in the car, I know how to fix it. My father built televisions for fun. Mechanically, he's brilliant.
What did your mother teach you?
Well, my mother is an angel. She is an angel. She was always there for us, and she was always so supportive. You know, Renee, anything that you want to do, you can, anything. Always. And I know the value of that.
Take me back 7 years ago. What were you doing?
I was auditioning for Jerry Maguire. That's what I was doing.
You moved to Los Angeles. You were there a little over a year, trying out for parts. You get this job. He says, would you like to play opposite Tom Cruise? What'd you say?
Well, see, now, he didn't tell you the whole part of the story. He called me, and he played with me on the phone. He called
Cameron Crowe, the director. Yeah.
Yes. And I got this phone call, and he said, hello, Renee, it's Cameron. And I thought, oh, here it is. And I knew I liked this guy. What a great guy to call me himself, to tell me that this isn't going to happen. Because, you know, he didn't have to call at all.
Sure.
Or he could have someone else do the nasty work. And he said, you know, I just wanted to thank you for coming in and for doing these, you know, auditions and things, and had a really nice time with you. See?
Yeah.
See where he's going with this?
Yeah, he's going to say.
Isn't that mean?
Yeah, he's going to say exactly. He's going to say it's too bad, but
yes, exactly.
Maybe the next film.
He did, and he kept going with that for about 5 minutes, and then he said, "So I just wanted to call and tell you that that you got the job." Yeah. Can you believe?
And then you screamed.
It was me in a hotel room with the dog, screaming, screaming, jumping up and down and screaming, and no one to tell, because I couldn't find anybody. I couldn't find anybody. It was a great day.
Yeah.
It was a great day, Barbara.
It was a great film, and you were great. Did you have a little crush on Tom Cruise?
Oh, who doesn't? Come on.
Yeah.
Who hasn't always had a little crush on Tom Cruise? It's not going away anytime soon either, by the way.
Since I asked you if you had a crush on Tom Cruise, I will ask you the one question that I have to ask. They'll say, why didn't she ask? Anyone in your life now?
No.
Yeah. No one man.
No, lots of men either. No one man.
No, lots of men.
No.
Nothing?
No. There hasn't been time, probably. I mean, I had the chance to sit back and say, oh, you know, poor me, no dinner date, you know?
Do you have any sense of a biological time clock? Any sense that it's something that you've got to do soon, the marriage or the children?
No. I don't have any things that I require in order to be happy.
Yeah.
And by this age, I need to have this, and there's no, I don't want to live my life that way. I don't want to be limited in that way, because I think otherwise you miss so much.
And what next? What do you want to do? I've read that you said you need serenity, that you need to feel real again.
Mm-hmm. And I'd like some time where I'm just not talking at all. Just to sit. There's so many books that feel like unkept promises to myself, stacked up, saying, remember us? Remember you're going to sit with us? Remember that? And there's been no time for it, and I'd like to make time for that, just for a little while, just to fill up.
Renee, there's that rather famous line from Jerry Maguire, where you look at Jerry Maguire, Tom Cruise, and you say, you had me at hello. Yeah? Do you think one day there'll be somebody that you'll say that about?
Hope so. I believe in it. Sure. I know he's born. He's out there someplace. What's taking you so long?
Exactly. Hello already.
I know. Hello already.
I hope it happens. That's my wish for you.
Thanks.
Introducing the Nokia 3650 camera phone. The new Get Well card. We make multimedia messaging as easy as see, snap, and send. Nokia, connecting people.
There's only one movie this entertaining. That's Chicago. Yes! And now it's the winner of the Academy Award for Best Picture of the Year. Chicago. Rated PG-13. Now playing everywhere.
Homeward bound, I wish I was homeward bound. Home, where my thoughts escaping. Home, where my music's playing. Home, where my love lies waiting silently.
The comforts of home. Priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted at home stores everywhere.
It's all new, and it's as colorful as the world around you. Introducing the Color Solution Center, only at the Home Depot. It's more than a store. It's a new and easier way to match or find a complement for any color you can imagine. It's Ralph Lauren, Behr, Glidden, and Disney in the largest paint color palette in America. Come see the brand new Color Solution Center, only at the Home Depot. You can do it. We can help.
Part 422 may not feel perfect to you, but to her, it's soft and just right. Lever 2000 not only cleans, but moisturizes all your 2000 parts. Lever 2000, for the best parts of life.
Wow! More than 500,000 people have already been wowed by Botox Cosmetic. Wow. Teachers, business people, husbands and wives, mothers and daughters, people just like you. Curious? Intrigued? Want to know more? Visit BotoxCosmetic.com to help you decide if it's for you and to find a physician in your area. What are you waiting for? It's not magic. It's Botox Cosmetic.
Discover Thunderbird today at your local Ford dealer. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
We'll continue in a moment with Julianne Moore and Nicolas Cage here on ABC.
There's someone...
Friday after Funniest Videos, it's a full hour of comedy on 8 Simple Rules. The No Boys Upstairs rule is broken.
They're only up there a minute. What can happen in a minute?
Then the new comedy about a single man raising 2 generations.
You believe this?
Ma'am, please, I'm on my break.
Brand new Regular Joe, ABC Friday.
This is an ABC 7 News Brief. Now here's Ron Majors.
Good evening. U.S. troops rescue an American POW, what we know about the mission and other war developments. Also, Illinois loses another soldier. Army Specialist Brandon Rowe is from northern Illinois. Plus, results of today's election as voters choose suburban mayors, Chicago aldermen, and decide whether to raise taxes for many school districts. And the warmest day of the year, Mike Kaplan tells us how long the warm weather might last. Join Kathy Brock and me right here at 10.
If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again. Because right now, you can get 0% financing for 60 months on some of America's best-selling vehicles. That's 0 for 60 on Explorer, Explorer Sport, Taurus, Ranger, and Windstar. 0% financing for 60 months saves you thousands in interest on 5 of Ford's best-selling cars, trucks, and sport utilities. 0% for 60 months on Explorer, Explorer Sport, Taurus, Ranger, and Windstar. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
It's the world's largest factory closeout sale with truckloads of new and discontinued model casual furniture, 30 to 70 cents on the dollar. Plus, with your purchase, you'll get 0% finance with no payments for 6 months. In Chicago, this sale will be held exclusively at Poolorama.
The Hyundai Sonata, ranked most appealing entry midsize car. More standard features than a Toyota Camry LE, including a V6 engine. Over $2,400 less when comparably equipped. Add in America's best warranty, 10 years, 100,000 miles, and you win. Test drive the Hyundai Sonata, starting at just $14,524 at your Hyundai dealer. Hurry in for $1,000 cash back or 0% APR. Plus, current Hyundai owners get an extra $1,000 cash back through April 30th.
I have to go, honey.
Julianne Moore received Oscar nominations this year for 2 roles that are, on the surface, similar. But with Julianne Moore, it's all beneath the surface.
Honey!
In The Hours, she plays a 50s housewife who abandons her world. And in Far From Heaven, she plays a 50s housewife whose world abandons her. She is utterly convincing, able to say more with a wounded glance than most actors can say with a page of dialogue.
Isn't it beautiful?
She has been called her generation's Meryl Streep, but she is her own entity.
Thank you, Mr. Deegan, for finding it.
Delicately old-fashioned enough to play period films, sexy and modern enough to sell beauty products.
When I was a kid, being a redhead made me feel different. Now it's one of the things that makes me me.
She's an army brat. Her father was a military judge, and her mother a social worker. The constant uprooting from Alaska to Panama to Germany was an actor's gift. She learned what made people different and the same. She learned how to fit in, and soon this nomad chose acting as her profession.
Being taken for younger is just fine with me.
And it helped to have good skin. Commercials like this one led to 3 years on the soap opera As the World Turns, where Julianne played twin sisters. You guessed it, one good, one evil.
You won't want to help me, Franny. You'll hate me.
Oh, no. No, I could never hate you.
What would young, aspiring actresses do without horror films? This was one of her first features in 1990, and she hasn't stopped working since. This chameleon has melded so deeply into so many films that we scarcely put her name to the movies, but we remember the characters. The list is impressive.
Hey, you have
The Fugitive.
Who changed those orders?
The Lost World, Jurassic Park. Magnolia.
I'm sorry.
Shoot you.
Understood.
Hannibal.
You're right. I'm gonna live through this. Let's have fun now. Let's just go.
She also likes to work without a net. Remember the porno star / drug addict / mother figure in Boogie Nights?
Let's go walk. I don't want to leave this room. Me either. How's it
good idea. How about Shortcuts, which required that she do a long scene of dialogue, naked, from the waist down?
Talking about now.
You'll just have to take our word for it.
What about us?
But this may be for Julianne her most important film, because on The Myth of Fingerprints, she met her fiancé, director Bart Freundlich. In short order, they moved in together, had 2 beautiful children, and now, 7 years later, they're planning a wedding. You prefer living in New York to living in California?
Yeah, I do. I like it better.
Yeah. For years now, this movie star has, for the most part, been able to live a normal life.
Doesn't matter.
She slips through her Manhattan neighborhood anonymously, just another mom. That's all about to change.
Here.
Listen, I have something to show you. Let me find the place. Ah, right here.
Uh-huh. Hello. How are you?
Who is?
Oh my gosh, it's me! Oh, for heaven's sake.
Isn't that funny?
No, we love it, and it's
At age 42, Julianne is only the 9th actor in Academy history to receive double nominations in a single year. She and Bart live in a large Manhattan loft, and their lives center on their 5-year-old boy and 11-month-old girl. And, of course, making movies. In The Hours, there is a scene in which you kiss another woman, you're Toni Collette.
Yeah.
And you have said that it's more pleasant to kiss a woman than to kiss a man.
Well, you know, I think what I said was, you know, Toni's so pretty and her skin was so soft and she smelled so nice. And it felt very comfortable and non-threatening or something, you know.
Am I threatening?
No.
Good, let's try it.
Come on. Here we go. Mwah. See, isn't that nice? How do I smell?
Divine. It was a pretty quick kiss. You know, but I'll take what I can get. Julianne, throughout your career, you have most often played very troubled women. Why do you prefer to play these sad, difficult women?
I never see them as sad or difficult. I'm attracted to the ordinary. I think I'm interested in the woman who's sitting next to you at the dinner table that you haven't met, who's very quiet, and you don't know what's going on in her life until you talk to her. And that really interests me. Everyday kind of tragedy interests me.
You have appeared in 32 movies. Yet there are people who, up until these 2 movies, sort of didn't even know who you were. You could walk down the street unrecognized.
Yeah.
You blend so much into the character. Now, does that bother you? Why is that?
No, that's something that I'm very happy about. I want to transform. I mean, you know, my biggest hope is that I literally physically change my face, you know. And then you see the movie and you think, oh, it's that same old face again. It can be so disappointing.
You did a soap opera for 3 years, As the World Turns. Do people still remember you from that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was on a bus and this lady said, hey, you know, how are you doing? What have you been doing lately? We miss you. And I thought, wow, she hasn't seen anything else I've ever done, but she still remembers me from this show.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
All right, so I'm doing my homework, and I'm watching a film I had not seen of yours called Shortcuts.
You never saw that?
No.
Wow.
You bet. Because there you are, and from the waist down, you are stark naked, not for 2 seconds, but for 5 minutes, at least. I knew you were a natural redhead.
Yeah.
Here you are, this somewhat conforming lady, totally nude from the waist down. How did you feel when they asked you to do that? Why did you do it?
Well, it was Bob Altman, you know, who was one of my heroes.
And he said, take it all off, and you did?
He said, well, no, it's not like that. But it was something that you would only see, perhaps, in a marriage, and it's completely non-sexual. And so it was an opportunity to do something that was very, very challenging and really different.
It's remarkable to see it. I mean, because even today, you don't see that much full frontal nudity.
Well, I think it's shocking because it is non-sexual. We're still pretty puritanical when it comes to just physicality and bodies and stuff. You know, my mother, my wonderful mother, has always said, you know, I would much rather see you naked than see you dead.
Julianne, let's talk about your fiancé, Bart Freundlich. Okay. He was your director?
He was my director, yeah.
Was that good or bad that he was your director?
It's always embarrassing. The last thing in the world you want to do is have an on-set affair, you know, and it felt kind of, you know, slightly humiliating to be participating in something while I was working.
Julianne, you were 35 when you started to date Bart.
Yeah.
And he was 26.
Yeah.
Did the 9 years difference bother you?
Initially it did, because I thought that it couldn't possibly be a serious relationship. I didn't really expect it to go anywhere. And then it proved to be a really authentic, interesting, wonderful relationship. So I think you just never know. You just never know what's going to happen.
You're wearing a wedding band.
Yeah.
But, pretty bad.
Thank you.
But you are not married to him.
We're getting married this summer, actually. We decided to get married this summer.
Why, after 7 years, are you getting married?
He asked me. It never came up, and out of the blue...
Wait. In 7 years, it never came up? You have two children? That maybe you should get married?
Well, I'd sort of forgotten it, and one night we went out, and I couldn't figure out why he seemed really uneasy. He seemed very nervous. And out of the blue, he said, "Do you want your birthday present?" Because it was about a week before my birthday. And I said, "Yeah, okay." And he asked me to marry him. It was great.
Why hadn't you asked him?
I don't know. I think I probably was waiting for him to ask me.
7 years.
Isn't that awful?
No, it's
but
just
I think
interesting.
I probably was. I think I was waiting for him to ask me.
What has motherhood meant to you?
It's been, it's made me, the one thing that's really surprised me is how happy it's made me. I didn't expect to be so happy. It's tremendous to have those feelings for people, you know, and for, I'm gonna now see. This is where I'll start to cry.
This is when you're gonna cry. I want it known that you're crying from happiness.
No,
okay?
But you know, it is simply the single best experience I've ever had, and they are the most wonderful children in the world.
They're certainly beautiful children.
They're beautiful, and they're good, and they're loving, and they're friendly, and they're wonderful.
You have said, if somebody said to me, "You can't be an actor anymore," it might be kind of a relief.
Yeah, it might force me to do either, something more concrete, something that I consider, you know, more helpful or more valuable or something like that.
You're still slightly pulled.
A little bit, yeah. But on the other hand, there's something about the reflection of who we are as human beings, the way that movies do for people, that I also find incredibly compelling and exciting, that you are saying to somebody, in effect, "I see you. You know, I see you, you're there." Like I said, the woman that was sitting next to you at the dinner party that maybe is unhappy or doesn't feel like she has a voice or something, that you say in this movie, "No, I see you." That, I think, is valuable.
You've given a lot of people a lot of pleasure. I hope that gives you pleasure.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Using HP mobile technology to get information quickly and easily, the world's police forces now fight crime digitally.
She was the daughter he never knew.
A piece of paper doesn't prove anything.
She has my eyes. And the girl who would turn his life around. Amanda Bynes, Colin Firth, What a Girl Wants. Rated PG. Starts this Friday at a theater near you.
What if you could plan the perfect escape? You'd have to be able to go anywhere at a moment's notice. You'd have to have more than enough room to operate in. And of course, you'd need to make a smooth getaway. Nothing can be equipped with more ways to escape than Ford Escape. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Your home, your ideas, and the freedom to express them. At Lowe's, we make it easy. Lowe's decorative hardware selection has everything from Art Deco to modern to traditional. And Lowe's Hardware Help Desk has experts to help you cut, size, and customize. And at Lowe's, we have low prices every day, guaranteed. That's our promise. Lowe's, improving home improvement.
Use your Lowe's card and pay nothing till October 2003 on purchases of $299 or more.
I thought that the skin under my arms was something that couldn't be changed. Between the shaving, razor burn, it's very embarrassing. Because of Dove, I mean, I don't have to worry anymore.
Dove Deodorant's 1/4 moisturizer gives back what shaving takes away, leaving your underarms smooth and silky.
It's soft.
To a child, a little of your time can make a lifetime of difference. That's why the Greenville Family Partnership sponsored a hike. Because kids with something to do are less likely to do drugs.
Standing right in front of them.
Whether you're a good storyteller or a good listener, you can help. To find out about community drug prevention programs, call toll-free 1-877-KIDS-313.
I can keep a kid off drugs.
Wednesday, 25 beautiful single women will meet the most eligible bachelor ever.
Andrew definitely has husband material.
Rachel Lee Firestone. It could work.
And the fight for his heart will be fierce.
I definitely want the ring on my finger.
The Bachelor, followed by All American Girl, starting Wednesday at 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Behind them, a little too much fog. Ahead of them, a few too many people. But right now, life is perfect. Thanks to purple mountains, fruited plains, and the majestic power of an Acura TL.
At Valley Total Fitness, our classes will get your body rocking. Dance your way into great shape for as little as $19 a month. Make your move now for just $19 down. Plus, we'll give you a free personal training session. Start getting your body rock hard for just $19 down and only $19 a month. So call Valley at 1-800-FITNESS and rock your body into perfect shape today.
Right now, fly Southwest Airlines non-stop from Chicago Midway to these select cities for just $79 each way. So get packing.
You are now free to move about the country.
Is building the toughest truck in America and outselling the competition for the past 26 years in a row luck? No, it's total truck domination. Right now, to celebrate 26 years of leadership, get $2,500 total cash back or 0% financing on Ford F-150. $2,500 cash or 0% on America's #1 selling truck, F-150. After 26 years, we're not just building trucks, we're building a dynasty. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
This is an ABC News War with Iraq update.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Peter Jennings. U.S. Central Command in the Middle East says tonight American forces have rescued a young American soldier who was being held by the Iraqis. She is Jessica Lynch, 19, from Palestine, West Virginia. She's a supply clerk and was one of those members of the 507th Maintenance Company who got lost and picked up by the Iraqis more than a week ago. There were several others who disappeared into Iraq that day, and we know nothing more about them tonight. The Navy says that 2 of its pilots were rescued after their fighter jet crashed in southern Iraq on a combat mission. They are okay. As for the war, it was intense today. The U.S. bombing what we were told are Iraqi frontline positions in northern Iraq. The U.S. was also bombing in Baghdad and south of the city the Republican Guard, who are between the capital and the U.S. forces. On the ground, U.S. forces have been engaged in a pitched battle with some of the Iraqis, and ABC's John McCarthy is at the Pentagon.
Peter, less than 2 weeks after U.S. troops first rolled across the border of Kuwait into Iraq, they are now involved in the biggest battle of this war thus far. Tens of thousands of American Marines and Army troops are spread across a 100-mile front, and they are attacking. This is all happening just 60 miles south of Baghdad. Peter?
Thank you, John. In Baghdad, it was the Iraqi information minister today who read a statement allegedly from Saddam Hussein. The Iraqi leader urged Iraqis to fight the invaders in any way they can. In southern Iraq, British troops searching a flour factory near Basra found a cache of Iraqi ammunition. They also found ammunition in a nearby school. And at the Pentagon today, the defense secretary said the war will not end until Saddam Hussein is out of power. That's the news of the war up until now. There'll be more on Nightline later. I'm Peter Jennings. Thank you for joining us.
Intense, quirky, bizarre, gifted, original.
I lost my hand! I lost my pride!
Nicolas Cage is a kinetic, scenery-chewing, risk-taking inferno of talent. The least predictable star of his generation. He's a Coppola in reality, like his uncle, Francis Ford Coppola, director of the Godfather movies. Dad was a college professor, and Nick's life was artistically and intellectually stimulating, but not ideal. His gifted mother suffered a long siege of mental illness. His parents divorced when Nicolas was 12. Dad took custody of the boys, and Nick started expressing himself in home movies with his brothers. This is actually the first time he won Best Actor. Best Actor in Beverly Hills High School for a student film called The Sniper.
I would like to say I had a good time working with Larry and with everybody else in The Sniper.
Check this out. It's Nick's first paying job, a TV pilot.
Ah! That's what turns women on!
Fortunately, the show failed, and Nick started picking up small film parts.
Gee, that's tough.
With his sleepy eyes and hangdog mannerisms, Nick looked like trouble, which in Hollywood is a good thing. But he couldn't get out from under the shadow of Uncle Francis. If he got a job, everyone assumed it was nepotism. So he did something radical.
Oh, well, that sounds good.
He changed his name and auditioned as an unknown named Nicolas Cage for a small teen film.
I love you. That's all I wanted to say.
Valley Girl was a surprisingly good movie. But his career almost ended as fast as it began. After rave reviews for Birdie, he took a job with Uncle Francis, and Peggy Sue got married and decided to play his character using the voice of Pokey, Gumby's claymation horse.
Holy Toledo, here's another Gumby adventure.
Holy cow. Late.
A lot of things have happened. Only a relative would forgive such a stunt.
Listen, about the other night, I feel...
Still, the film was moderately successful, and Nick did work again.
Where are you taking me?
To the bed.
Thanks in part to Cher, who handpicked him to play opposite her in Moonstruck, one of the most successful romantic comedies of all time. And then, he did something that has dogged him ever since.
Hey, my snakeskin jacket!
He made the peculiar acting choice of playing a variation on Elvis Presley in the dark, sexually explicit thriller Wild at Heart.
I'll be sad and blue, crying over you.
The point is, he could do anything, and often did.
If you'll come to my room for 1 hour, I will give you $500.
When you think about it, leaving Las Vegas could have been a disaster. It's the story of an alcoholic who moves to Vegas to drink himself to death with a hooker. Imagine that pitch meeting. But Nicolas was pitch perfect. You could almost smell the booze on his breath.
You can never, ever ask me to stop drinking.
And the Academy liked him too.
Morning. Hey, you two.
The fact that he received a Best Actor nomination for another small, offbeat film confirms that Nick is still hungry.
I've got to stop sweating.
Adaptation is the tale of twin brothers, one gifted and insecure, the other sunny and simple.
I've written myself into my screenplay. That's kind of weird, huh?
It has placed Nick back where he seems most comfortable, on the edge. He's 39 now, and he leads a big life.
Hi, Barbara.
How are you, Nick?
Very well. Thank you for coming. It's nice.
With 4 homes, lots of exotic cars and motorcycles, and a clear sense of style. He lives alone in this stately L.A. house that once belonged to Dean Martin, then Tom Jones, before Nick redecorated it and made it his own. And by the way, I looked high and low and never found one piece of Elvis memorabilia. Those are beautiful.
Well, here, cheers.
There's a pizza oven in the backyard, and Nick will often hang out here with his 12-year-old son from his relationship with actress Christina Fulton. He's been married twice, to actress Patricia Arquette for 6 years, and to Elvis's only child, Lisa Marie Presley, for 3.5 months. Much has been written, but very little is known about this marriage. That's what interviews are for.
Okay. At what age did you know that you really wanted to act?
When I was 15, and I went to see East of Eden in a revival theater.
I don't want the money, Cal. I couldn't take it.
It's the scene where James Dean is bringing Raymond Massey the money for his birthday that he collected from selling beans, and Raymond says, I don't want it. And that moment was so heartbreaking, so emotional to me that you said, that is what I want to do.
Your father was a university professor, an intellectual, eccentric from what I've read about him. Tell me about him.
Well, he always had classical music playing. He loved opera and introduced me to literature and different books. So it was certainly, I think, a wonderful childhood that I think, gave me taste. He gave me a sense of culture.
Let's talk about your mother.
Okay.
A woman whom you love very much, but it was difficult. Tell me about her.
My mother is a very fragile woman. She was a very sensitive woman.
She was diagnosed as schizophrenic.
Well, schizoaffective, it's in the same spectrum.
What was that like, Nick? Little boy visiting his mother in institutions?
It was kind of a long hallway, I have to say, and I'd walk down that hallway and I'd see her there in the corner of the room, and I'd, feel terrible for her and want her to come home. Yeah. And then she did come home finally, and it's the best that she could do. I don't look at it in any way other than that it helped make me who I am, and I thank them both.
And your mother is well today?
Well, she's at home and she's living a great life, and I'm happy for her.
Did you ever worry that you might inherit your mother's illness?
Yeah, I did, but I've been told that if it doesn't happen before you're 35, it's not going to happen, and so I'm 39 now, and I feel like I'm out of the woods.
You know, you and I are sitting and talking and having a relatively normal conversation, yes?
I would say so.
Everything that I read about you describes you as weird, eccentric, wild. You read those things. Those are adjectives used about you.
Yeah.
What 3 adjectives would you use?
Shy, a little bit romantic, and emotional.
What about the 3 adjectives that describe you as weird, eccentric, and wild?
Maybe some of it's my doing, because I wanted to generate an image at one time that I thought would be maybe kind of wild and eccentric and fun. But
is it real, or were you doing it to get a reputation?
I think part of it was like a plan to sort of create, an image.
So the wild and woolly ways are over? I love that, wild and woolly ways.
It's a good one. I think what happened was I became a father. And when I became a father, I stopped smoking, I fastened my seatbelt. I started seeing myself as not just me. It pulled me out of the narcissism of an actor and put me into the reality that there's someone who's so much more important than me that I can care about and love.
Let's talk about something that one reads about all the time and try to clear up some myths or see if it's the truth. Again and again, we read that you are obsessed with Elvis Presley.
All right, well, let's go all the way to the beginning.
Okay.
And look at the genesis of this whole thing. I read a book called An Actor Prepares by Stanislavski, and that was the method. And in the book, he said, imitation is, the one rule is you can never imitate anybody. Now, I saw myself something as a rebel actor, and I wanted to break that rule to see if you can do it. So then I said, who could I do this with? And I thought, Elvis. So I thought, now where can I try this new experiment? And it was David Lynch directing Wild at Heart. And I went for it, and he thought it was a great idea, and we tried this experiment to create a surrealistic interpretation of Elvis in the movie. So that was the only time I've ever generated anything on my own to do with Elvis. Fast forward 10 years later, I walk into a party not knowing who I'm going to meet, and there's this beautiful girl standing in the middle of the living room wearing this short leather skirt and this fluffy jacket, and she looks up at me with these big, beautiful, soulful eyes that look like they have a sad story to tell. And I just went, oh. And I was thunderstruck, and I thought, maybe all these crazy coincidences that seem so silly just were all about this one moment where I met this girl that just stopped me in my tracks.
Whose name?
Is Lisa. And so Marie Presley. And so then we got to talking, we got to know each other, and she's hilarious. She's a real firecracker, and she tells it like it is. And
You two have so much in common.
This person should be with that person. I go, well, she comes from an artistic family. I come from an artistic family. She was born with the pressure of an extremely famous name from day one. I was a young actor in Hollywood with the name Coppola trying to make it with those pressures. And it just, there was a logic to it. There was a sense to it. But oftentimes when you have two people who are very strong in their own personalities and rather intense, sometimes, I mean, I'll even use the word stubborn or not willing to compromise. Sometimes you can have a hard time meshing. And so we got into this unfortunate pattern of breaking up, getting back together again, breaking up, getting back together again. So where I came out on it was, yeah, it's sad, and I miss her every day.
Do you?
Oh, sure. And sometimes I wish we couldn't have rushed the marriage, and sometimes I regret rushing the divorce. But it just seemed like, it wasn't gonna change.
With Lisa Marie, the marriage was only 3.5 months. That's not really very long to try to figure something out.
No.
I don't want to be Cupid.
Okay.
But if you miss her every day, isn't there a possibility that you both learned something and maybe it could be ignited again?
I think that the thing that we have now, which is great.
Which is what?
We're friends. And
really friends?
Yeah, we talk and we're friends. In a lot of ways, she was like a best friend to me because I didn't want anything from her, she didn't want anything from me.
People said, all that stuff that was written was what you wanted to do was to have Elvis's grandchild.
When I saw her, I saw this beautiful girl, I saw Lisa, and
not Elvis.
No.
Not Elvis's daughter.
No.
Yeah. Aren't you sick? I mean, I'm asking you these questions to clear things up,
right.
but you don't go to parties and start singing Elvis songs and performing and all this stuff that I read.
No answering machine with my voice on it as Elvis. We weren't going to buy Graceland. We were never going to live in Graceland. I wasn't going to build Graceland for her on top of a ranch somewhere. And
did Lisa Marie ever discuss Michael Jackson, or did her marriage to him ever give you any pause?
No, I met the man once. I was still Nicolas Coppola, and I'm sure he doesn't remember, but it didn't come up. To me, that was her past, and that wasn't an issue.
Do you still think that you might one day find the perfect mate? Is marriage still something you hope for?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I believe in marriage, and I want to have more children and have all that. That is my dream. But I can't think about that. I can't think about the future, and I can't think about the past. What I can be in is the present, in this moment, right here, right now, with you, and this is my life, and it's fine with me that this is my life right now.
What's been the best time of your life?
Right now, right here, right now, with you, this is the best time of my life. This is it, because, no.
Just because you're living in the moment.
I'm trying to be, it's not easy to do, but I'm trying to be in the moment, so it's right here, right now with you.
Okay.
Good evening, I'm Ron Major.
And I'm Kathy Brock. Coming up next, the rescue of an American POW. We're live with more on the mission and the battle for Baghdad. Also, another Illinois soldier is killed in combat.
And some upsets in tonight's election. Chicago has 2 new aldermen.
Ford Focus. With its exceptional maneuverability, no wonder Automobile Magazine calls it the best small car to drive. And it comes with 100,000-mile powertrain coverage, so you can handle whatever the road throws at you. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
This is the new Nokia 3650 camera phone. It has an easy-to-use built-in camera that lets you take pictures in just 2 clicks. And you can share them on the spot with multimedia messaging. You can also capture and send video, organize your life with the built-in calendar and PDA functions, and attach audio clips to your messages. The Nokia 3650 camera phone, the new point-and-click. Nokia, connecting people.
Introducing a moisturizing shampoo that won't weigh hair down. A shampoo that won't leave it lifeless. A shampoo with weightless moisturizers that go to the center of each strand, while the extra washes clean away. Moisture and lift, the best of both worlds. Shampoos and conditioners with weightless moisturizers, new from Dove.
Epson T001, Canon BC31E.
Shopping for ink and toner in most stores is hit or miss.
HP C9720.
Come on.
A.
At Staples, we stock a huge selection of cartridges, so we guarantee we'll have the one you need. Online or in store, promise. HP 45.
Bingo.
Your ink and toner in stock. Staples. That was easy.
This Thursday, Lisa Marie Presley, Diane Sawyer, Nothing's Off Limits, Elvis, Michael Jackson?
Oh, God.
Her music and a wild marriage. For the first time, Lisa Marie talks about it all.
I am a complete lunatic.
Her men and her music, a primetime television event Thursday.
Thank you, Renee, Julianne, and Nicolas, for opening your hearts and your homes to us. Good night. I don't know, Nick. They tell me this was work. This is no work for me.
No, this is fun.
Just, it's very hot.
A little bit. A lot of people don't like anchovies. Is you okay?
Let's go buy some flowers. All right? Yes, we're going to buy Mummy flowers. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Congratulations.
Oh, I thank you very much.
Oh, that's okay. Okay.
Thank you.
I love this. Stop. We're too easy.
I know.
Bye, John.
Thank you so much.
Good luck Sunday.
Thank you. Ahead, the warmest day of the year, and now maybe snow flurries by Sunday, according to Mike Kaplan, and the big kickoff to smelt season.
Tonight on the Barbara Walters Special.
I walk into a party not knowing who I'm going to meet, and there's this beautiful girl. She looks up at me with these big, beautiful, soulful eyes, and I was thunderstruck.
Whose name?
Is Lisa. And so Marie Presley.
You're wearing a wedding band.
Yeah.
But, pretty band.
Thank you.
But you are not married to him.
We're getting married this summer, actually. We decided to get married this summer.
Why, after 7 years, are you getting married?
He asked me.
Take me back 7 years ago. What were you doing?
I was auditioning for Jerry Maguire. That's what I was doing.
Waiting tables?
Yeah, well, not really. I was cleaning ashtrays.
Cleaning ashtrays?
Yeah, I was the bar back.
You weren't even good enough to be waiting tables. Good evening. These are difficult and unsettling times. In the first days of the war, I decided to postpone the special you're about to see, which was to have aired Academy Awards night. But perhaps in the midst of such stress, we need a little respite. So tonight we bring you three huge and delightful stars: Renee Zellweger, Julianne Moore, and Nicolas Cage. Each of them was nominated for Academy Awards, and although they didn't capture the Oscars, they did capture my heart, and I have a feeling they'll capture yours as well. Stay with us.
The Barbara will.
Maybe she's more complicated than we think. Renee Zellweger received an Oscar nomination for Best Actress in Chicago. But she has never danced before.
You can like the life you
Never sung before.
You can live the life you like.
And you'd never know. She's got spark and style and all that jazz. The moment is now for the little girl with a heart as big as Texas. Katy, Texas, to be exact. Her father was Swiss, her mother Norwegian, but her upbringing was all American. A small-town tomboy who loved sports and cheerleading, she never gave acting a second thought. But she worshipped her older brother, and when he took high school drama, so did she. By the time she was at the University of Texas at Austin, she was hooked. And she didn't run off to Hollywood right away either. Instead, she worked in local films, like this grisly sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, alongside her college drama pal, Matthew McConaughey. But eventually, every film actress has to pack up her Honda and head for L.A. But they don't all land the movie.
I will go with you.
Dorothy Boyd, thank you.
One day, you're searching for quarters at the laundromat. The next, you're auditioning with Tom Cruise.
Cigarette smoking increases these risks, especially if you're over 35. Patch users are strongly advised not to smoke. Women with blood clots, certain cancers, a history of heart attack or stroke, and those who could be pregnant should not use the patch. The patch does not protect against HIV or sexually transmitted diseases. To learn more, talk to your healthcare professional.
So get birth control off your mind and that little voice out of your life.
Ortho Evra. On your body, off your mind.
So we have a cellist and two violinists. I don't say this just because I was a school teacher. It would be devastating for our young people if music was taken out of the classroom, because it's something they can latch onto and find their identity in. When a kid learns how to take that and make it his own, it's amazing. It's really fun to see a child light up like that and to know that they're getting it.
Music lets kids shine. Help us keep it in our schools. Join Blue from American Express. Support Save the Music.
Dude, isn't that your mom?
Okay, so it's true. What's true? Drug money funds terrorism.
It is true.
Okay. Okay? Look, let's say I buy some dope.
Let's say.
Hypothetical.
Let's say.
Walter's special on ABC, brought to you by Ford. If you haven't looked at Ford lately, look again.
Everybody looks at my foot that way. Checking out that body, taking on those moves. Forwards traveling in a whole new groove. Yeah, you got that style to the mile. Can we go for a spin, baby? Have you looked bored lately? If you haven't looked that bored lately, look again.
HP technology and HP people help BMW Williams run every race before the driver ever gets in the car.
You know that little voice that whispers, "Did you take the pill today?" You don't have to hear it anymore. Because of this, Ortho Evra, the birth control patch. It's just as effective as the pill, but even simpler. Because one patch protects you for a whole week. It's incredibly thin and smooth. Put it here, here, or here, and it stays put. Just peel and stick. That's how simple Ortho Evra makes birth control.
The contraceptive patch contains hormones like those in birth control pills. Serious risks include blood clot, stroke, and heart.
How much of my money actually makes it to the bad guy's hands?
A couple of bucks.
A few bucks.
A few bucks, that's it. Peanuts.
So what you're saying is it's okay to support terrorism a little.
Did I say that?
ABC Wednesday's almost here, and Damon is getting ready early. On My Wife and Kids. Then, when this young girl's heart is broken, only a father can come to the rescue.
Carmen, you'll always have one friend.
Thanks, Dad.
Not me.
A new George Lopez. Then 25 women will meet the most eligible bachelor ever.
Andrew definitely has husband material.
And the fight for his heart will be fierce.
I want the ring on my finger.
The Bachelor, followed by All American Girl. It all starts ABC Wednesday, 8/7 Central.
Next Tuesday, the wait is over. Blue returns with a bang.
Come on! Oh my God.
All new episodes.
Be straight with me. You don't love me anymore.
This is the season legends are made of.
All she saw was us standing over the kid with guns in our hands. Don't do a thing till you hear from me.
All new Blue ABC next Tuesday, 10/9 Central. Viewer discretion advised.
Renee Zellweger always plays nice, regular girls who wouldn't harm a fly. We assume she is unassuming.
I'm sick of everybody telling me what to do, and you treat me like dirt.
Shuns the spotlight. Forsakes glamour.
I'm a star, and the audience loves me.